Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. We are so excited to have our next guest with us, Paige DeSorbo. She's one of my absolute faves on Bravo from both Summer House and Winter House and now on Southern Charm. So Paige, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. How are you guys?
Great.
Excited that you're here.
Yeah, excited that
we love you. Anyway, so what made you decide to join Summer House in the first place? What was your idea behind it, or how did you get there?
So I was working at ABC News at the time, and I went to college for broadcast journalism. I always wanted to be on TV, but I just never knew like how it was going to happen, what I was going to do. So I was working my regular 9 to 5 as an assistant, and one of my girlfriends texted me and she was like, "Hey, I just kind of talked to these people that are making a reality show on Bravo. They asked if I had any friends that would be good for it. And I immediately thought of you. Like, would you want to take an interview?" So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll like see what happens. I take the interview. I never hear from anyone. Like, months go by and I was like, whatever, totally wasn't meant to be. I don't think I could do reality TV. I'm way too sensitive. So then about 2 weeks before they started filming, I think someone like had dropped out, honestly. They called me and they were like, "We'd like to offer you a contract to film it. Like, let us know your answer by the end of tomorrow." So I called my dad and I actually started hysterically crying because I was like, I don't think this is like my path. Like, I don't think this is for me. And my dad said, "Look, just do it the first season. If you absolutely hate it, you never have to go back. And if you love it, you'll never wonder like, oh, what if I did that TV show?" He was like, "You're just scared. Like, you've always wanted to be on TV. Like, just do it." So really it was my dad who convinced me to do it. And then after my first season, I mean, I loved it.
Hey there. Yeah.
I really love the filming part of it. The airing part is a little bit tricky, but actually filming it and there being like cameras and a crew and lights, like I love that aspect of it.
That's so cool.
Thank God for your dad, huh?
Yeah, right.
Good
You can thank him for all of America.
That's the moral of the story.
That's so funny. So which cast member, for better or for worse, do you feel has changed the most during either Summer House or Winter House?
Ooh. I think Amanda has definitely changed the most. I think when I first met Amanda, she was so quiet. She's still so sweet, so lovely, but she would get a lot more nervous, I think, when we first started. And now I feel like I've watched her grow from like a girlfriend to a fiance to a wife to, being nervous about certain situations in her life to now like really standing up for herself and really just like growing into herself. So I think, she's always kept that sweet, genuine personality that I like met when I first met her. But now I just feel like she's really come into her own, and she really like has an opinion, and she tells you her opinion, and she just like sticks up for herself. And I love that.
I love Amanda. That's a great answer. Yeah, love Amanda. Who doesn't love Amanda, right?
Right.
Well, that leads into the next question. So you were honored to be in her wedding. So from a scale of 0 to 10, Bridezilla, where would you see Amanda falling into that category?
It was the craziest thing ever, to the point that when we were getting ready for the wedding, I asked who was doing our hair and makeup, like, have you ever seen a bride be this calm and collected? And they were like, honestly, we do about 3 weddings a weekend, and the bride sets the tone of all of the other bridesmaids and like how the day is going to go. And Amanda couldn't have been cooler, more collected. She was excited. Like, she really was 0 on the scale of Bridezilla, 0, to the point that like 2 weeks before the wedding, we didn't know if our dresses were going to be ready in time. So we had to get like a backup dress. I was freaking out. And she was like, whatever, if they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. Like, I'm not that worried about it. And I was like, I'm freaking out. Like, what are you talking about? So she was, the coolest bride ever.
Oh my God. And she went through so much with filming, then, with the florist who dropped out, like there was so much that led up to that wedding that you would think like.
Yeah, her wedding was COVID. She was right in the middle of that, of like having to plan a wedding, then cancel it, then plan a wedding, then cancel it. So she had a tough go of it.
She did. But it looked, whatever it was in person, it looked gorgeous on TV when it aired. So
it was stunning.
Yeah, it looked exactly like that. It was stunning. So recently you launched a tour with Hannah Berner, who was your previous Summer House, I guess you can say castmate.
Yeah.
So what is the most rewarding part about going on tour for Giggly Squad? And what is the hardest part as well?
I think the most rewarding part is definitely filming a television show with your friend, the tumultuous things that happened on this show, kind of like the tests that our friendship went through, and then like pushing through that, and then being on a stage where there's, we've done theaters where there's thousands of people sitting in the audience who genuinely like us, like genuinely feel a connection to us through our podcast, and just getting to like talk to them in person, and then to look over at Hannah and just be like, how did we even do this? Like we started this in like laying in bed being like, we should just like go live on Instagram, from like a stupid idea. So I think like looking at her midway through the show and like just smiling at her is like one of the best moments. And after every show, like we naturally just get up and like hug each other while we're still on stage. And like, that really is my favorite part. And then I would say the hardest part about going on tour is Hannah's just like very forgetful. Like we were on a West Coast tour and it was really just her and I. Like we went to each venue and we were by ourselves and we did the show and then we'd go back to our hotel. Hannah left her laptop, which has the entire show like on it at the airport. She's just like so discombobulated in like certain situations, but we end up laughing about it. But I would say she definitely like stresses me out with like lose on tour.
It makes for excitement.
Yeah, literally never a dull moment ever.
That's hilarious. Well, if people want to find out more about you, where would they go for that information?
So my Instagram is Paige _DeSorbo, and then my Amazon Lives are once a week on Amazon Live. And then my podcast with Hannah is called Giggly Squad, and that's wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, Paige, thank you so much for joining us today. It was so fun. And you can catch Paige on Summer House, Winter House, and now she's on Southern Charm because of Craig. So wishing you guys all of the best always, and we'll see you guys soon.